Listen, I'm going to tell you something that might sound crazy at first, but stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why getting girls is actually way easier than you think. Most guys are doing it completely wrong, and I'm about to show you exactly why. You see, we've been fed this lie that you need to be this perfect guy with six-pack abs, a fat wallet, and pickup lines that would make Casanova jealous. But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. Most guys who are successful with women don't have any of these things. They understand something much more fundamental, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. I remember when I was struggling with this stuff. I was that guy who would spend hours in the gym thinking that's what women wanted. I bought expensive clothes, learned cheesy pickup lines, and tried to be someone I wasn't. The result? Complete failure. I was getting rejected left and right, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Then something changed. I discovered a 7-step formula that completely transformed how I approached dating, and more importantly, how women responded to me. This isn't some theoretical nonsense. This is based on real psychology and human behavior. So grab a pen and paper because we're diving deep into this. Step 1 is understanding the fundamental truth that she feels what you feel. This is the foundation everything else is built on. Women are incredibly intuitive when it comes to reading emotions and energy. They're not looking at your bank account or counting your muscles. They're feeling your internal state and responding to that. Think about it this way. When you approach a woman feeling nervous, insecure, and desperate for her approval, what do you think she picks up on? She feels that nervous energy, that desperation, that need for validation. And guess what? That's not attractive. It's actually repulsive because it communicates that you don't believe in your own worth. But when you approach a woman from a place of genuine confidence, calm presence, and self-assurance, she feels that too. She senses that this is a man who knows his value, who doesn't need her approval to feel good about himself. And that energy is magnetic. This is why you've probably seen guys who aren't conventionally attractive with beautiful women. It's not about their looks, it's about their internal state. They carry themselves like men who deserve good things, and women respond to that energy. Step 2 is never putting her on a pedestal. This is where most guys completely lose the game before they even start playing. The moment you see an attractive woman and start treating her like she's some kind of goddess who's doing you a favor by existing, you've already lost. Here's what happens in your mind when you put a woman on a pedestal. You start thinking thoughts like, she's so beautiful, I hope I don't mess this up, or I need to impress her, or she'll never be interested in me. These thoughts create a dynamic where you're the one seeking approval and she's the one giving it out. But attractive women deal with this all day long. They have guys constantly trying to impress them, buying them drinks, complimenting them, and basically worshiping them. When you do the same thing, you just become another face in the crowd. Instead, treat her like you would treat any other human being. Be friendly, be respectful, but don't give her special treatment just because she's attractive. This immediately sets you apart from 90% of the guys she encounters because you're not falling over yourself trying to get her attention. Step 3 is becoming outcome independent. This is probably the hardest concept for guys to grasp because we're naturally goal-oriented. We see a woman we like and immediately start thinking about outcomes. Getting her number, getting a date, getting into a relationship. But here's the paradox. The more you care about the outcome, the less likely you are to get it. When you approach a woman with a specific agenda, she can sense it. She knows you're trying to get something from her, and that creates pressure and resistance. Outcome independence means you're genuinely okay with whatever happens. If she's interested, great. If she's not, that's fine too. You're not attached to any particular result because your self-worth doesn't depend on her response. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful because it allows you to be authentic and present in the moment. You're not calculating every word trying to get a specific reaction. You're just being yourself and enjoying the interaction for what it is. Step 4 is not seeking validation. This ties directly into everything we've talked about so far. Validation-seeking behavior is probably the biggest attraction killer there is. When you're constantly looking for signs that she likes you, asking questions to gauge her interest, or modifying your behavior based on her reactions, you're giving away all your power. Women are attracted to men who have their own internal validation system. These are men who know their worth regardless of external feedback. They don't need constant reassurance or approval from others to feel good about themselves. Think about the most attractive men you know. Do they constantly ask for opinions about their decisions? Do they change their personality based on who they're talking to? Of course not. They have a strong sense of self that doesn't waver based on other people's reactions. Step 5 is challenging her instead of impressing her. This is where things get really interesting. Most guys approach women with the mindset of, how can I impress her? But high-value men flip this script entirely. They approach with the mindset of, is she impressive enough for me? This doesn't mean being arrogant or rude, it means having standards and not being afraid to express them. Instead of immediately agreeing with everything she says, you challenge her thoughts and opinions. Instead of complimenting her on obvious things like her looks, you dig deeper and see if there's substance beneath the surface. Here's an example. Most guys would say something like, "You're so beautiful, can I buy you a drink?" But a high-value man might say something like, "You seem interesting, but I'm not sure if you can keep up with my sense of humor. Prove me wrong. Can you see the difference?" The second approach creates intrigue and challenge. It makes her think, wait, most guys are immediately impressed by me, but this guy isn't sure about me yet. There must be something special about him. Step 6 is maintaining your standards and principles. This is about being unwavering in who you are and what you stand for. Too many guys become chameleons in relationships, constantly adapting themselves to whatever they think the woman wants. But here's the thing. When you have no backbone, when you're constantly bending to accommodate someone else, you become boring and predictable. Women are attracted to men who have their own mission, their own values, and their own boundaries that they won't compromise on. This means being willing to walk away if someone doesn't align with your values. It means saying no when you don't want to do something, even if it might displease her. It means having the courage to be yourself authentically, even if it means some people won't like you. The paradox is that when you're willing to lose someone over your principles, they often become more attracted to you, not less. Why? Because it demonstrates that you have something valuable to protect: your integrity. Step 7 is understanding abundance versus scarcity. This is the final piece of the puzzle and arguably the most important. Most guys operate from a scarcity mindset when it comes to women. They think good women are rare, so when they find one they like, they cling to her desperately. This scarcity mindset creates all kinds of unattractive behaviors. You become possessive, jealous, and needy. You put up with bad behavior because you're afraid of losing the one good thing you have. You compromise your standards because you don't think you'll find anyone else. But men who are successful with women understand abundance. They know that there are amazing women everywhere, so they don't get too attached to any one person too quickly. This doesn't mean being a player or treating people poorly. It means having the confidence that comes from knowing you have options. When you truly understand abundance, everything changes. You stop being desperate. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You start choosing women instead of hoping they choose you. Now let me tie all of this together for you. These 7 steps work together to create a complete transformation in how you show up in the world. When you master your internal state, stop pedestalizing women. Become outcome independent. Stop seeking validation. Challenge instead of impressing. Maintain your standards and operate from abundance. You become the kind of man that women naturally gravitate toward.